Let's see. Oh man, Facebook's working tonight. This is exciting. All right, guys, welcome. Jamie, how are you? Happy Monday, Queen. It's good to see you. Hey, guys, as you are coming in tonight, let me know, what are you excited about this week? So what are you welcoming in? What are you excited for? What are you celebrating? I want to hear from you. And the process that we're going to be teaching tonight is also really fun. So this goes out to all of my like my spring cleaners. If you're someone who enjoys like spring cleaning, organizing, getting things out of chaos into really, really good. So you're going to enjoy this one a lot. So I'm just excited to get into it with you. And as always, if you are joining on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, drop me a comment so I can see that you're here, and just let me know so that I can speak to you directly. We've got Melissa. Hey, welcome. Caitlin, Bambi, all my ladies. I'm so glad you guys are here. Okay, so for those of you who are joining now, this is part 13, I think, in this series. And some of you have been here from the beginning, which is wonderful. So we're talking in this series about how to release resistance to what you want. And this is a totally different way to create your next level of financial abundance, business success, health, relationships. This is literally the key to unlocking everything that you want and letting it come in faster to you. And I ironically had a lot of resistance to this idea for a long time too. But that is part of what I'm passionate about now, is sharing the things that have worked for me to create major quantum leaps in finances, happiness, all the things, and really just to share with you guys like what I'm learning along this process. So as we get into it tonight, who's a big spring cleaning person? So just let me know, like say me, or give me some hearts over on Instagram if you guys are really big into like cleaning out clutter. Maybe that's even something that's been like showing up for you recently, is getting stuff sorted out. I know for us, in our household, Melissa's saying me. Yeah. Okay. You're going to love this, Melissa. I know for us in our household, like we're getting some extra help from our nanny to like get stuff organized in the house. And I was looking at stuff this weekend and like, I was like, why do we even have all this stuff? Like, where did this come from? This is like not the best use of space in our house. Caitlin is saying me literally on the calendar for this weekend. Okay, so you're on the same wavelength. This is going to speak to you. Bambi's been saying doing it lately. Yep. And I know for you, Bambi, just from our conversation today, like you're probably feeling clearer and clearer about what you're available for and not available for in your space too. So stuff is, you'll start to notice as your vibration raises, as your level of availability for what you will and will not allow into your life raises, there will be things that you were allowing in your space that all of a sudden you'll be like, why do I have that? Like whether it's clothing or stuff in the kitchen or whatever, you're like, why do I still have this? This doesn't match me at all anymore. So the process tonight is a really fun one. And again, if you're joining for the first time tonight, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Let me know too in the comments, like if you're here for the first time. But we're going through this book together this month, Ask and It's Given by Abraham Hicks. And it's such a powerful, oh my gosh, like I will probably read this for the rest of my life because it's so good. But it's literally like different processes that you can use to release resistance to whatever it is that you want, to allow that thing to flow to you sooner. So I used to think it was all just about like push and force and hustle and just work harder. And while you can create what you want that way, it's not the only way to do it. And it also is more likely to feel hard and feel like a slog. And I know for me in my life, when I did things that way, because it was all I knew, I kept butting up against limits in terms of financially what I could bring in. I was in constant anxiety. And the biggest shifts came when I became aware of a world that wasn't in front of my visible eyes, but is very real, which is the world of energy. Like everything is energy. And so we've talked about it on this series before, but I'll keep repeating it. One, because some of you are new, and two, because I think it's something every day I think about. Einstein said everything is energy, and that's all there is to it. Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but make it yours. This is not philosophy. This is science. So that's a rough paraphrasing of what he said. He said there can be no other way. So that's what we're doing, is we're learning to match the energy of what it is that you want and to release your resistance to having that thing in your life. Okay. And for those of you who are new and you're like, oh my God, what is Elise talking about? I thought I was going to get like a sales podcast, and what are we doing here? You can go back after this, like stay for the live. I'm so glad you're here. Go back after this and watch from the very beginning of the series. It's on my YouTube, How to Release Resistance to What You Want, just for more context. But I'm going to go ahead and dive into it tonight, because I know a lot of you who are here live have been watching this, for some time now. And you understand that the thing that's holding you back from what you want is resistance, which shows up as limiting beliefs, not being energetically at the level of the thing you want, because the universe doesn't give you what you want, it gives you what you are. So if the goal that you want to achieve is one that you think is going to help you feel freedom, abundance, joy, prosperity, but you're over here feeling lack, scarcity, disbelief, you're not a vibrational match for it. So it's going to take a lot longer for it to come into you. So that's the resistance that we're talking about dissolving. So I hope that makes sense. We got some new friends over here on Instagram. Today is all there is. Welcome, Bedson. Welcome. Again, I always hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. So you can let me know in the comments if I'm not. But here's the process for tonight. And this is this is so fun. Like, I just had fun putting this together. This is process number 14. If you're following along in the book or in the series, it's called the process of clearing clutter for clarity. So really, really good one, the process of clearing clutter for clarity. And there is a companion guide if you're brand new and you want to grab that, that we'll use along with the series tonight and every night. You can get it at elisearcher.com/resistance. It's a free guide. But how do you know how much resistance you have to the thing you want? By how you feel. So your body is an incredible tool, and it gives you an instant feedback loop. The moment that you're thinking a limiting belief, the moment that you're not in alignment with a thing that you want and you have resistance towards receiving it, because you feel bad. It's such a cool tool. I love this, especially if you're anything like me and you had issues with like body image or self-confidence and how you show up. Like, it's so cool when you learn to just fall in love with your body and what it does for you. So it will tell you instantly if you have resistance towards the thing you want. But you want to use this guide, and you want to use the guide to tell you, like, where are you at on the emotional scale? And then it will tell you, okay, you got a lot of resistance because you're at a lower level emotion and vibration, or you are up at like a peak emotion, which is going to be gratitude, appreciation, which allows the thing you want to come into you faster because you're an energetic match for it. Oh, Kimberly Duchesne. Oh, are you Caitlin's mom, sister? I don't know. Let me know. This is very cool. This is like a family affair on here. Well, I'm glad to know that it's you, and I'm excited to find out who you are. And welcome, Carl. So glad you're here. All right, guys. And then, hey, again, if you're joining live on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, I see some of you coming in now, but I can't see that you're here unless you drop a comment. So I'd love to I like to speak to you guys personally, because I really want this to be as interactive as it can be through comments. So drop a comment. Let me know you're here. Allison's here. Welcome, Allison. Oh, your mama. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, Kimberly, you've raised the most amazing daughter. I'm blown away by her, and I'm so excited that you're here on the live too. This is fabulous. Jan, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Happy Monday to you as well. Oh, I love this. This is like a reunion. I missed you guys over the weekend. Okay, so process number 14, the process of clearing clutter for clarity. 4 times, kind of 4 instances when you would use this process. Number 1, when you are feeling stress due to your disorganization. How many of us have felt that? I'm raising my hand. I've totally been there before. Number 2, when you feel you're spending too much time looking for items. Okay. Number 3, when you find yourself avoiding your home because you feel better elsewhere. I have been there. Number 4, when you feel there's not enough time to do all you need to do. And I'm guessing for a lot of you guys, that one may be more of like, because I know we talk a lot about challenges that show up with time management. And that's another topic for another day, because I actually don't really believe in traditional time management at all, which if you've been following on this series, you know why. But still, if you feel there's not enough time to do everything you need to do, and that's an issue for you, this process will help you with this too. Now, for reference, when do you do this one? So this bad boy, you want to do when you're somewhere between a number. So again, get your guide. If you don't have it, like whip out your guide, elisearcher.com/resistance. It's free, but you want to use that for reference here. It's when you're somewhere between a number 4, which is positive expectation and belief, all the way down to a number 17, which is anger. So the farther along we go in this series, and we're going to go up through this Thursday night, the farther along we go, you're getting more like heavy duty processes. So we started off at the beginning with ones to use when you're feeling really good and you're like, oh, I just want to speed up the thing I want coming into my life. And now we're getting to ones where like you're kind of, maybe you're in the wobble or you're not feeling so good. You're like, I need to get some energy moving and shifted here. Then you use these. So this is a good one for that. Okay. So I took some notes for you on this one, and they have gotten, speaking of clutter and clarity. All right, here we go. They're on my computer here. Okay. So how are you going to do this? And just let me know too, guys, like I'm going to check comments periodically. Like, let me know if you have questions in the comments or your biggest takeaway. And I love hearts just to like, feel like I'm not talking to myself. So feel free to always give your sister a little love. Let me know you're here. Bambi saying, avoid your home. I've done that. Well, yeah, I used to literally, this was like not my proudest moment, but probably like 15, 20 years ago, I would park outside my house and not go in because just the vibe and it felt so off. It felt bad. And so if you guys are there, I get it. And I've really learned like your environment. Thank you guys for the hearts. Okay. I feel good. Your environment is so important. Your environment is everything. It's your home. It's your car. It's the people you hang out with. It's what you pay attention to as well. Bambi's saying I went out to drink. Yeah. And we do stuff like that, right? Like we have coping mechanisms that we use when our environment doesn't feel good. But for me, I had a limiting belief that was like, I didn't deserve to invest to create my home space to feel the way that like a woman who had the type of life I wanted would feel. And this is like an embarrassing thing to share, but I'm just going to share it because it's what's showing up right now. Like when I first started dating Jason, who's my husband now, I remember like he would come hang out at my house, and then we would go. I give him such a hard time about this, poor guy. Like sometimes things just come out wrong. But we would go hang out at one of my dear girlfriend's houses afterwards, and he'd be like, "Oh, I really like going to such and such's house. Her house really feels like a home." And I remember being like, "Do you know what you just said, dude?" And again, like we laugh about it now, but honestly, like that was kind of a wake-up call for me that my home, because I didn't have the self-worth to create a space that really supported me, because I didn't understand the importance of energy and supporting myself in that way, that other people could pick up on that. Yeah, I know it's pretty ridiculous, Bambi, right? But that is how he and I started off. So I ask him every now and then, I'm like, does our house feel like a home yet? Like, is it a home yet? Does it feel like a home yet? And I think now we're at a place where it does. So how do you do this? I love the comments, by the way. I love the hearts. So thank you guys. Let me know what questions you have as we go through this. And I'm going to go back to answer questions as we go. So this is a sorting procedure that allows you to quickly clear out your space. But here's what's nice about this is it's sometimes, do you ever have fear that like you're going to go through and you're going to like Marie Kondo everything and just get rid of it. And then you're going to be like, oh shoot, I actually needed that thing. Or I got rid of it and now I need it and crap, now I got to go buy more stuff. So this allows you to not worry about that because it's going to help you quickly clear out what no longer serves without the fear of getting rid of it permanently when you actually needed it. So what you're going to do is you're going to they recommend like at least 20 sturdy cardboard boxes. And the book says banker's boxes. I don't know what a banker's box is. I'm sure some of you guys do. But basically you want to get a box that looks nice, that you wouldn't mind having visible in your home. And you want at least 20 of them. And you want them to look good together. So like similar, like same size and color, okay? Then you're also gonna get your cell phone or some sort of device you can voice record on, and alphabetized index cards. So you're gonna grab all your boxes, then you're gonna get like 5 to 6 of them, and you're gonna put them in the middle of the room that you wanna organize. Pop them in the middle, and then what you're gonna do is you're gonna number each box with its own unique number. So like 1 through 20, let's just say, for example, Bambi saying it's a box for files. Okay, cool. I was reading this, I was like, I'm pretty sure that's what it is, but that's, yeah, I figured because you're so organized, you probably do know what that is. So that's great. So you're going to number them from 1 to 20. And now what you're going to do is you're just going to look around the room. You're going to take a moment and focus on each item, and you're going to ask yourself one question. So you're going to ask, is this item important to my immediate experience? Is this item important to my immediate experience? Now, what is your immediate experience, right? It's like I kind of use when I'm looking at my closet, and you've probably heard this before, but like, have I worn this in the past 6 to 12 months? Or is this something I use on the regular, or is it not? And so if it is, and it is important, then you leave it where it is. But if it's not, then you just pop it in one of the boxes. And so as you grab each item and you put it in a box, just speak into your, like if you use your cell phone for voice recordings like I do, speak into your phone and just say like, old cell phone box number 1, guitar strings box number 2. And so what you're doing is you're just creating a record of where everything is so that you don't have to like panic that you won't know where it is. And then later on, so you want to be working fast through this so you're not getting bogged down in details. So you may find that like similar items start going in similar boxes. That's all well and good, but don't spend unnecessary time at the beginning trying to get it all super organized. Just the point is like, get it out of your space if it's not important to your immediate experience. And then you can go back later and you can organize it. So that's where you can get those alphabetized index cards like A through Z. And then the way they recommend, and I don't know if I do it this way, I think you can kind of pick your own way, but they recommend like anything that starts with the letter A goes in box A, anything that starts with a B goes in box B. I think pick what works for you here, but basically like get it out of your space quickly and then go back and organize it if you want in a way that feels good to you. Is that making sense? So what you're going to do is you're going to find yourself feeling better quickly because the space is getting more organized fast. So you're going to quickly feel your level of resistance go down and your vibration raise as you start to feel more organized. So when you look at nature, right, when you look at how things are created in our natural world, and that's a whole field of study called biomimicry that's really fascinating, that when you learn to like live your life and your sales and your business around how nature's organized, it tells us how we're going to most be successful. But nature is organized. So there's rhythms to things, there's seasons. So that's where, and again, this is the key. It's not about control in a way of like, because I know that we have some of these conversations on these calls, like it's not a way of control where like you have to control it or else you don't feel good inside, but it's like a satisfaction, right? Like how many of you have done a day or a half day of spring cleaning and then you sit there and you just look and you're like, right? It's that satisfaction of things are organized, they're ordered, they're in their place. And that's part of how you're wired, is to feel better. I feel like I have to like stand on my toes to get up higher on Instagram. That's part of how you're wired, is you feel better when things are in order and when they're organized. So you're allowing more of your divine nature to come out and to really enjoy that order. Yeah, Jamie's saying best feeling ever. Yeah, exactly. And so why do we, well, actually, let's talk about why we don't do this in a minute. I want to finish the process, and then we'll talk about like how this helps you vibrationally as well, because it's actually really, really powerful. Okay, so what you're going to do is after you get all your stuff in your boxes, you're going to just find a wall or somewhere in the house where you can put them, where, again, this is why you want to get ones that are aesthetically pleasing, that you don't mind looking at, but get them out of the way. So get them stacked, get them out of the way. And then after a few weeks, like let's say 3 weeks pass, and you realize that you didn't need anything out of box 1, then maybe you take box 1 and you move it to the garage. Or maybe you take box 1 and you move it outside. Or maybe you take box 1 and you donate the items and you don't look back, but you decide what the time frame is for you that lets you feel good. But you're basically like, you're getting things out without that panic of like, oh, am I going to need this? So you kind of see like, was this actually something that was important? If so, trust yourself that your brain is going to think of it and you're going to need it. And if it wasn't, then you move it on. So here's why I love this. And then we'll check comments. Why I love this is actually leveraging a universal law called the vacuum law of prosperity. And if you guys are not, here's one thing I will just do like a quick plug for She Sells All Access, which is my membership site. $28 a month. It's like incredibly affordable, but we're doing a full training this Friday on universal laws. And I did not know, like I lived most of my life in struggle and anxiety because I wasn't aware of these laws that govern the universe. Just like there are man-made laws that we obey or we go to jail, there are universal laws that govern how things flow, the natural order of things. And so when you can learn these universal laws, all you have to do is apply the law and you get the result you're looking for. It's kind of like when I had my big financial quantum leap and it happened so fast and I was like, what happened? I was accidentally applying universal laws without even knowing it. So one of the important universal laws to abide by if you want the results you want is called the vacuum law of prosperity. The vacuum law of prosperity. And what that is knowing that the universe abhors a vacuum. So what that means is that if you want more to come in and you want more of what you want to come in, you must first release what no longer serves. So it's kind of like in this glass, if I said, I want more water or I want a different beverage, like right now it's just got still water, but let's say because I'm fancy, I want to switch to sparkling water, which is 100% the case. I would have to dump this out first, or I'd have to drink it first or get rid of it before there was room for the sparkling water. Any Topo Chico fans in the house? I've gotten addicted to that. Anyway, I would have to get rid of it first. It's the same with your closet. So your closet can only get so stuffed with clothes before you can't fit anything else in it. And you got to take out the old before you can make room for the new. I've had the same conversation twice with clients today. So this applies to your business and to clients. As you get more, as you grow your confidence and you get more clear on what you're willing to accept and you're not willing to accept, and your vibration raises, then clients that would have before you would have like muscled through it and said yes to, you will no longer be up for working with them. You won't. And it's not that you're better and they're worse. It's just like they're not an energetic match to you anymore. Have any of you guys, like, give me some hearts if you guys have ever had that happen, or maybe now are you feeling and noticing that you used to accept things and you used to be available to work with certain types of clients that now when you think about working with them, they cause like constriction in your body. And you're like, oh, I dread that client conversation. Or even if you don't dread it, it just doesn't light you up. I'm seeing lots of hearts on Instagram. Like, you guys get this, right? It doesn't light you up anymore. And that's your sign that you're no longer a vibrational match for that. So while we want to, of course, be mindful of, okay, where are you financially and how much do you require every month to pay the bills? I have found, okay, this recurring theme on Instagram, the phone's about to die. I think we're going to make it for this one. I have found the way that I evaluate opportunities now is for the woman who has the level of business that I want. Would she say yes to this or would she say no to this? Today, for example, just today, I got I got an opportunity for a keynote. And Elise, even like 6 months ago, would have been like, hell yeah, I'll take that. That's great. It's a great amount to get paid for a virtual keynote. And today I looked at it through the lens of like, I looked at it through the lens of, for a woman who brings in this amount of money and works this number of hours, because I'm focused on reducing my hours, like, would she say yes to that? And the answer was no, she wouldn't, because it's well below her hourly rate. So I'm going to say no to it, knowing and trusting that, again, like if I took it because I was in scarcity mode and I was like, oh, I got to grab at everything, there would be no space for that perfect client to come in. So tying this all back with what you're doing here, as you apply these principles that we're talking about in this series, and whether you're a paying coaching client of mine and you've like really been going all in on this for a while and digging in, or you've been joining for the series, and welcome, like whoever you are, welcome. As you apply these principles, your vibration is going to raise. You will no longer be a match for some of the things you used to say yes to. And that's why you can then, like Bambi, I mentioned to you at the beginning, because I know you've really experienced some leaps recently in terms of like your feeling and your vibration. And you're going to start to see those new big manifestations coming in physical form soon. just keep that level up, right? And it must come to you, but you'll look around you and you'll say like, I can't believe I used to wear that, or I can't believe I used to eat that. That was another big thing for me, like looking at meals. Like I used to, like, I don't know if you guys can relate, but I would stand there and like stuff and just like try to eat really fast to get it done with so I could go back to work. And I really got present to that last year to say, like, for a woman who has what I want, which is all the time in the world, great health, right? Beautiful lifestyle, eats beautiful meals. She sits down and she focuses on her meal, and she feeds herself nourishing, healthy foods as well. So I had to start, even though it wasn't my default mode, I had to start doing that first before that became the norm. And now it feels weird to do anything else. Amy, welcome. Are you okay? If you are actually requesting to be in the video, I'm happy to have you. Just type yes in the comments, or if that was a thumb slip, that's fine too. But I know you. I'm always happy to have you. Bambi saying that's what I did. Take clients in scarcity. Yes, big leap this weekend. I'm saying those things today. Yeah, I know that's exactly where you are. And you must start saying no to things that no longer serve you so the good can come in. So that very well for you, for Bambi, or for any of you who are like, oh, I'm noticing that I'm feeling better. I'm releasing resistance to things, and I'm starting to experience more. Even if it's not physical abundance yet, you're starting to feel better, which is the sign that it's on its way. One of the next steps can be clearing stuff out. Like you'll become more aware of what no longer serves you. And look, this applies to physical and non-physical. So today we're talking about physical because your outer environment does have an impact on how you show up. But this is outer environment, it's your feelings, it's your belief systems, it's the clearing of everything that no longer serves. That's really what this whole series is about, right? Which is releasing resistance. But so I love this, that whole long thing was that I love this because it really is about universal laws. Which again, if you want to join She Sells All Access and get access to that training on Friday, EliseArcher.com/training, come join us because it's going to be, man, I think we should get a manual when you're born that these are the laws that if you just live your life by this, you can have anything you want when you want it. Most of us don't. I didn't. So we're learning it now, right? But I want to read to you part of what it says that's so powerful. This is just a few sentences, but if you've been zoning out, come back because this is really important, okay? You all have a capacity for attraction. And when your process is clogged with stuff that you no longer want, the new attraction is slower. And then you end up with a feeling of frustration or overwhelmment. So, let me just read that again. You all have a capacity for attraction. And when your process is clogged with stuff that you no longer want, the new attraction is slower. And then you end up with a feeling of frustration or overwhelmment. So if stuff isn't coming in, look, my friend, at what are you holding on to that you're holding on to, not because it's what you would choose now for yourself, but what is it that you chose because you were in scarcity mode when you made the decisions? And I'll have this conversation a lot with leaders that I coach when they're holding on to a team member because they feel bad about letting them go, is like, knowing what you know now, would you choose to hire that person again? And most of the time the answer is no. And so you must, you are wired for expansion. You are wired for growth. To allow that to happen, to create space for it, we must release what no longer serves first. So you can do this process to help you speed up the coming in of what you want. So I'm just going to take a moment and check comments here. Hey, James. Oh, great to see you over here on LinkedIn. Let's see here. I'm just being open to saying what you want in conversation is big. If it's not a mutual yes, it's an easy no. Staying in integrity with what you want. Yeah. So we're talking about, right, like clients. Yeah. So I know that was a couple minutes ago in the comments that you put that, but yes, exactly. And really having enough self-worth, I think, to start to make decisions for yourself, thinking as the person who has what you want, not what you already have. And that was a big one for me, is learning to say no to opportunities that financially before I would have been like, oh, but it's money. Oh, but it's, how many of us have done that, right? Oh, it's money. That could pay for this or that could pay for that. When you learn how this stuff works, you learn that money is infinite and that money will always come to you when you follow the laws we're talking about. And sometimes too, I don't know if it's like tests per se, but as you up level, you will get opportunities to say yes to things that aren't really a yes for you anymore. And your job is to start acting like the person who has what you want. Okay. So, and that will mean saying no to things that no longer serve you as well before the new has come in. I'm just seeing Jan's comment on YouTube from a while back. Speak to me, sister. I hope I'm speaking to you, sister. This is for you. I love you. I'm glad you're here. So, and here's the final piece, and then I'll go into just pop any questions you guys have in the comments, because my phone is on Instagram. We probably have 5-10 minutes left. Pop questions you have in the comments. This is really big. So I used to, and maybe you guys can relate to this, I used to look outside of me for fulfillment a lot. And that looked like, that was when I was in a really disordered cycle with my body. So that looked like binge eating. That looked like over shopping, buying things just because I thought it was going to make me feel better. It looked like a lot of, or even relationships. I'd get in relationships with people who weren't a good match for me, but they would give me attention. And I thought, oh, that's validation that I'm worthy, And what I've noticed is, as I do the inner work and follow these processes, and for you, this is either you're here already and you're like, wow, what an amazing way to live, or you're on your way, you will start to feel so whole that you don't lack for anything. And it has nothing to do with what's outside of you either. And that's the beauty of this, is that when you start to feel whole and when you start to realize that you are abundance and that you generate money, clients, opportunities based on who you are and how you show up. It's not you going out and trying to get them to become whole. You must feel whole first. You must practice. That's why I love my boy, Dr. Joe Dispenza, and his generating abundance meditation. All of his work is so powerful with this. But you will start to feel so whole that you don't lack for anything. Have any of you guys experienced that yet? Bambi's saying yes. Yeah. And that's actually when it all comes in. It's the funny thing. That's when it all comes in. That's when all the money comes in. That's when the clients come in. That's when all the stuff comes in, because you're then a match for it. And that's when it comes in so fast. You're like, oh, where did all that come from? But you don't actually need it. And that's the beauty of it, is because you don't actually need it. You can make really clear-headed decisions about what you're willing to say yes to and what you're willing to say no to. Because everything has a vibration. So again, that's a universal law, the law of vibration. Everything is frequency. Everything has a vibration. So those things that you used to say yes to, that you allow in your space, as you continue to do this work and you rise, your level, your emotions rise, your income rises, your level of, again, and the emotions always come first, the level of self-belief always comes first, then the income comes in after that. But you'll notice that those things that are in your space are no longer a vibrational match, and they won't feel good anymore. And you'll want to release them because you'll feel so whole. You won't be willing to allow anything into your space that isn't a match for that. You get really concerned, not in a scarcity way, but you realize how valuable you are and how valuable your energy is. And you won't allow stuff in that doesn't help elevate that. And that's everything from what you watch on television, to who you pay attention to what you allow on your social media feed, to the people. Thank you guys for the hearts. Anthony, Mary, Lori, welcome. It's so good to have you guys here. But you will not allow anything into your space because you don't want to sacrifice that feeling of wholeness. And anything that you allow in, whether it's a client or a certain financial amount or new clothing or a relationship or the food you eat, you will only allow in what's a match for you, what helps you elevate to the next level, because you have such deep love for yourself at that level. And you wouldn't put yourself through anything that didn't care for you and didn't show great love for you. Okay. Thank you guys. I'm glad this is resonating, but this is really big. This is something I didn't get for a long time. And I allowed all this stuff in that was everything from traumatizing to just not supportive, because I didn't have the self-worth to expect more for myself and to claim more for myself. So as you do these processes, you will feel more whole. you will start to get really selective about who and what you allow in your space. And then it just gets better and better from there, guys. It just gets better and better. So let me check. I'm just checking comments. Eduardo, welcome. Great to have you, my friend. Avoid people with bad vibrations, negative person. Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, it's that energy of knowing like everyone is having their own experience here. And so when I see people who aren't necessarily a match for me, it's like, we have to learn, like, there's no judgment towards that. They're just having their own human experience, but it doesn't mean you have to let them in. It doesn't mean you have to, because that's not a match for you. Okay. And it's definitely not a match for where you're going. So we got to like bless them and free them to have their own experience and know that that's not something that's a compliment for where you are in your life and for where you're going. So any questions on this, guys? I am going to start to wrap up. And just pop like questions or ahas, takeaways, like what are you taking away? What's the one thing that you're going to take with you? Because do that for you, not for me, not like for validation, but what's the one thing that you are going to take with you from today? Put that in the comments for you so that you can really solidify that in your mind and take action on that this week. So a couple quick reminders / housekeepings. Guys, tomorrow night, we're talking about money, like my favorite. I love talking about money because I believe money is wonderful and I want you to have a lot. I want you to have all the money you want to achieve your goals because money is a great tool. I shared this with one of my groups this morning. Like I learned this from Bob Proctor. So you love people and you use money. Love people, use money, and everything else will fall into place for you. But that's the energy we want with this. But you want to have a lot of money so you can accomplish your goals. So tomorrow night, be here 8:00 Eastern. It's going to be so good. Wednesday night is our one night when we're doing this at a different time. So mark your calendar for Wednesday night. We're meeting at 7:00 Eastern because I've got a prior engagement at 8. 7:00 Eastern for Wednesday night. And then we've got Thursday night is back at 8. And then the series is complete. So part of the housekeeping is like, send me a DM I love you guys. I'm so glad whether tonight's your first night joining or you've been here for a while. I'm so grateful to have had this time with you, and send me a DM with like, what do you want more of? What would you love? Like for May, if I did a series, I've talked with some of you guys about doing a series on quantum leaps and like the quantum physics and the energy of it. And I think that would be really fun. But for future series too, like what do you want more of? What do you want to learn more about? Send me a DM, let me know, because I really just want to create content that serves you. And again, I will just really encourage you, if you're not in She Sells All Access, go join that, guys. It's phenomenal. $28 a month. You get access to live coaching with me once a month, last Friday of every month. So we've got one coming up this Friday on universal laws and how to apply them to your wealth creation and making money and your sales. And then you get access to our whole library of content. And there's some really, really good juicy trainings in there, and you just keep getting more and more and more every single month. So elisearcher.com/training, if you want to join that. It's just month to month too. It's just like my very easy, low investment item to get you some help. Let me just check comments here and see anything else. So Jan on YouTube is saying this topic came up over the weekend. Getting rid of broken, rundown items so that we can replace it with new and better. Loving this. Yes. That's it. It's fun too. Like, it's just fun to clear it out, and you'll have that feeling of lightness and releasing of resistance that then allows you to open up to the new thing that you want to come in. James is saying, bought the book You Squared. It's awesome. Isn't it so good? Oh my gosh, it's so good, right? So I think we're going to do a series on that in May and just talk through that book. So I'm so glad you bought it, James, and I can't wait to hear like what your ahas are on it. Maybe you can hop on and we can teach like a joint live at some point about it. I would love to hear your thoughts. David is saying we live in a universe of abundance, so we shouldn't let worry over lack of anything cause us to pursue things, opportunities, relationships that don't serve us or lead to our true selves. Yes. Oh my gosh, so good. That's the mindset of when you're about to say yes to something and accept something that makes you in your body go, ugh, like feel constriction. It's not a match for you. But you must know that we live in a universe of abundance. There's an infinite number of possibilities and opportunities for you. And so you usually have to say no to things a few times before you get what you want. And it's that trust and that faith that the thing you want is coming. And part of, for me, making that big leap financially was I said no to things that would have brought in money. I just invested 50 grand in a coach. I was like, holy shit, like, what am I doing? This is half of what I made last year. This is like, this is not the quote unquote smart financial move. And then I had opportunities for clients come in that would have helped pay that, but they weren't a match for what I was feeling called to do. So I said no. And there were opportunities that would have been great even like a month before, because my mind wasn't opened up to this next level of how I wanted to show up and serve. But I said no, because I knew that if I said yes, they would have taken the space of what I really wanted to do, which was teach this stuff and talk about this stuff with amazing people like you. So it's knowing and trusting that we do live in a world of abundance, and all that takes is just knowledge and studying how these things actually work. So kudos to each of you guys for showing up on a Monday night when a lot of people are like, you know, tuning out and watching Netflix, because you're here educating yourself and learning what you need to learn to create your next level. And you get this, you understand this, so you can, because you're willing to show up in a way most other people aren't willing to show up, you can also expect results for yourself that other people can't expect. So I just kudos. Bambi saying, thank you, so validating. I will keep clearing. Yes. Money. I see we got so excited about money for tomorrow night. Yeah, it's really good. I'm excited to share this process with you guys. All right, guys, I think that's it. If there are any final, like if you're typing out a comment or question, I'll stick around for a hot second. Jamie, oh, you're so welcome. I'm glad this resonates. Yes, it's time to release what no longer serves. It is time to release what no longer serves. Let your good come in. Trust yourself, your body, your mind will tell you like when something's not a match, and release it. Release it. I think the whole thing of like trying to live so safe and trying to be like, the goal of trying to be safe is not a goal that's going to help you create an amazing life. Okay. And when I need some humor about it, I just remind myself like, look, we're on a giant rock shooting through outer space, like praying that gravity holds us on. Okay. So what are we all trying to be so safe about, right? we can relax a little bit and surrender and release and let the stuff go that doesn't serve. Okay. Safety is not the goal here on this planet. Fulfillment, fun, impact, excitement, purpose, joy, love. That's what you're here for. Experiences, that's what you're here for. So let yourself have that. Okay. I love you guys. Y'all are freaking amazing. I hope you'll join tomorrow night. Thank you for being here live. If you're watching the replay, thank you, Eduardo. You're welcome. Appreciate you guys. And I'll see you guys tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. We'll be talking all about how to bring in more money into your life. All right. See you guys soon. Lots of love. Bye.